Good evening and welcome to Sensual Talk. This is where we explore all shades of sensuality and pleasure. I'm your host, Emanuela Fernandes. Tonight's show is for all the beautiful, juicy, sensual, curvy girls out there. We're talking about plus-size body confidence and sensuality that you can rock from your boardroom to your bedroom. Please welcome body love coach, Miss Sophia Apostol.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Princess Sophia.
Hi. I love that she calls me that.
I call her Princess Sophia because, she is Sophia, goes with princess very well, but also because you truly are a little bit of a royalty when it comes to the world of coaching and empowerment here in Toronto.
Thanks,
You know I'm a big fan. Thank you so much for being on Sensual Talk.
I'm happy. I'm so excited. I love talking about this.
I am so excited
so
to dive in.
Yeah,
yes,
let's do it.
Yes. So before we go deeper into this exciting conversation, it's for all you voluptuous, gorgeous, curvy-sized girls out there. I want to thank Dronish Media for sponsoring this evening's presentation. I want to thank you all for joining us for this incredible conversation. And please stick around. We'll be around for about 15 minutes and the conversation is going to be off the hook. We got another very special guest that might make a cameo appearance. We got Sophia's dog.
She's right down there.
She's right down there. You can't really see it. Our camera's kind of angle is very narrow. However, she might make a cameo appearance. And You're both dog lovers, so hopefully. Sophia, so many things to get to. I mean, like you said yourself, it is an important subject. I think women come in all shapes and sizes, and you have done so much work around this. And you actually might have seen Sophia on Marilyn Dennis' show if you are in Toronto. So you really have been doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
So first of all, what is your story as a coach? Where did your curvy empowerment come from?
It's such a good question. I think like all women, and men too, but my focus is definitely women who have to figure out how to relate to their body as their body changes. It could be changes with age, it could be changes with body shape and size, it could be an injury that impacts how you move and you can't do things maybe the way you used to do.
Right.
Whenever there's any kind of change with our bodies, we really struggle, right? And so I grew up as a tomboy. As an athlete, I was a high-level swimmer in the States, like national level swimmer, so very fit, very toned, very strong. Was swimming a lot, like 15, 20 hours a week, and then I went to university, and I stopped because I was now in university, and I started gaining weight really quickly, which often happens to a lot of people who were former athletes, right?
Frosh 15 or more.
Exactly. And so basically over the course of, since I started university, so when I was, 18, to where I am now, actually on Monday I will be 38, so a lot of years.
Wow, lots to celebrate.
Exactly. My weight has fluctuated up and down by about 100 pounds. Like I gain it and then I'll lose it and then I'll gain it. And I was on that typical diet type approach where I've done everything. Atkins, Bernstein's, Weight Watchers, starvation, like
you name it.
All of it. I have done it as a lot of people have. So my story's not that unique. Where it shifted for me though was really starting a deeper dive into coaching, learning how to show up for other people and empower them and motivate them and get them excited about their life. You can't do that unless you figure your own stuff out, right? And so there was that mirror piece to learning how to be a coach, to going deep into leadership development. I'm also a neuroscience coach. So understanding the neuroscience behind behavior, behind things like core wounds around shame, abandonment, betrayal that we all have. And a lot of times we don't realize how deeply it impacts us. So for me, what really happened is my own personal development journey, my own spiritual journey. I had to look at my own stuff and start to go deeper into it. All of that really led me to realizing that, and I will say also kudos to the body positive movement because they have been huge in my journey. This whole belief around your body is yours. You get to be who you are, and I have so many friends and people I admire who are doing amazing work being their boldest, baddest, gorgeous self. And calling themselves fat, like reclaiming that word, a word that terrorized me for years. So now I can say, I'm a fat woman, and that is okay. I have no baggage around that anymore. But
it's not offensive.
It's not offensive. It's like reclaiming it. And it's like, yeah, this is my body, this is my tummy, these are my thighs, and it's all okay. It doesn't make me a bad person. So that, it really came as I started to do work for other people. I started to do work for myself. Yeah.
So you started to kind of go through your own crap.
Oh my God. I wasn't sure if I could swear or not, but can I swear?
Go
gently. No, I was gonna say the word shit. I was like, yes, I had to go through my own shit. Lots of it.
You had to go through your own shit.
Lots of it.
Listen, we all have to go through it.
Yeah.
You know, either when we're dealing with one issue or another, it's just part of life.
Well, and it's vulnerable and it requires courage.
Right.
And those are hard things. It's vulnerable to like own that this is my body and my body looks different than how society would have me think my body should look. What I see in magazines. Now, what's amazing, again, body positivity. Like, I saw at the Marilyn Dennis show I was on, it was a celebrity makeover, and I was like, make me like Melissa McCarthy. Because she's one of those women, right?
Yes.
And it was like, she's curvy, she's plus size, so she's like, she had to sew her own clothes.
Yeah.
So she's like, fine, forget that, I'm gonna make my own clothing line. And she's
awesome.
and she's everywhere and she's fantastic. So it's starting to change, and I love that.
Yeah.
I get to be a small part of that, you know, helping other women find their way to be at peace with their bodies, which has huge impact on the rest of their life.
Listen, you know I'm a big fan of what you do, so I thank you for what you do. And I also want to ask you, so when it comes to curvy women and sensuality, because that's the subject that I really am passionate about exploring, what are the common challenges that curvy women have when it comes to connecting to sensuality?
Yeah. I think connecting to sensuality, intimacy, sex, you know, that all of that requires a really significant level of vulnerability, right? Whether you're by yourself, most often you're with another person or people. Yeah. And you know, there's lots of situations where sensuality and being connected to that part of yourself is necessary, or hopefully should be necessary. Again, this is an area a lot of people struggle with, as you know. Right. And while I think that, and I know, because again, I've talked with lots of women. I even ran a naked workshop. Do you know the people?
How do I sign up for that one?
All right, we'll run it again. You know, the people that had the hardest time being it was all women, but the people that had the hardest time being naked in front of others were the two women that honestly looked like supermodels. And it was so interesting to me. Yeah. So this whole thing around how do you connect to your sensuality? To me, as a coach, the perspective is, how do I become comfortable enough with being so vulnerable that I can show up exactly as I am in front of another person? And that, I mean, you start really by practicing. You have to, I think you have to figure out your own shit. You have to know where your blocks are, what's underneath it. I mean, I've had clients do little exercises where I have one client who, and I tend to work with amazing women. So she's like a VP of sales at this big company. And she was in power suit mode almost all the time, that it was impacting her ability to connect with her partner. So we started doing little exercises, like, I was like, okay, I want you to like feel the fabric. Touch something, and so, is it okay if I touch you? So I would have her like, you know, feel the fraying of like your jean right there. Touch this, like notice this, like connect to your senses, right? Start there, because and again, that's also based in neuroscience. It's mindfulness, right? It's that meditation where we get present to the exact moment. Notice where you start to feel uncomfortable. You know, so there's very simple things that you can do to start to build this comfort level with sensuality. And it doesn't have to go right to sex, because a lot of times I think we think it's it's about sex. No, it's actually about like, what brings you pleasure? Do you like for me, like right over there, I've got like candles lit. I always have fresh flowers. I like soft lighting. To me, I walk in my apartment and I have lots of living green plants. To me, I walk in here and I'm like, I feel sensual here. Not well, I feel sexy too, but I kind of just feel sexy all the time. But, it's not that it's about sex, it's about I feel connected to my body.
Right.
And I think that connection to the body is what a lot of plus size women, fat women, curvy women, whatever term we want to use, I think that's the challenge. Because they try to disconnect from their body because they hate their body or they're frustrated with their body. So they build walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I actually think that this applies not only to curvy size women or plus size women. I think it just applies to women in general.
Yeah.
I mean, something that I never spoke about is the fact that, I grew up in the country, which is a Scandinavian country, right? Where, all people are very tall. And I was always uber petite, right? And I mean, I was always very tiny, and people actually would make fun of me. They would say, well, did your mama not feed you? I mean, really, people were mean, right?
Yeah.
And,
it was different.
Exactly. And when you're a teenager, right? I mean, it really kind of gets to you. And I remember, wearing heels. And I mean, I think that by now, probably my feet are just completely deformed because of years and years of wearing heels and trying to compensate because, those few extra inches were really very important.
Yeah.
So I think that it's not just curvy women, but I mean, I think every woman can relate to, the feelings of just something being, just not good enough about her.
It's so true. And I hear this, what's interesting is there's started to be some awareness for this around men. Because men feel it too. We just have never really given them permission to talk about it. So there's some some really cool stuff being done around male body positivity and body acceptance and body neutrality. Like, it's your body, you get to do what you want with it. It gets to look how it looks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, we mentioned about, the media, and I mean, I worked in the media for so many years, and I know that media doesn't do any service to plus size women and just women in general, but especially plus size women. As you said, there has been a bit of a revolution going on, with plus size models coming out,
Ashley Graham.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, gorgeous women, and and there's definitely some sort of movement happening. But how do women, just regular women like you and I, and especially, plus size women, how do they find the empowerment? How can they empower themselves sensually?
Yeah. Such a good question. And here's the most annoying answer that I'm going to give, which is that it depends on the woman. I think what's important is that and again, this is such an annoying answer, and I apologize because it's not a useful one, but it really is so individual. What has you feel sensual and connect to your sensuality is probably very different from what I feel makes me feel sensual, So I think the place to start, and certainly the place I start with my clients as well, is let's try a whole bunch of different things. Let's try touching fabric. Let's try buying something to wear that is colorful. And again, this is just the starting point, but it's, let's try, like, go to the spa, go get a massage, go be touched, change the lighting in your space. Try a prayer, try a meditation, go out, sit in nature. Start to try a whole bunch of different things and connect and ask yourself, do I feel sensual? And sensual meaning, do I feel connected to my senses? Do I feel connected to my whole body? Is my mind starting to get a little more quiet? Because basically we live from the neck up. And what I think the root of sensuality is to live from your whole body. And this is actually proven in neuroscience. Most of our sensory input comes from our neck down, and it shoots signals up to our brain. But then our logical brain takes over, and our monkey mind gets going, and it's like logic, rational, and it cuts off all of this wealth of information. And so the key is to connect back to that. So what I would say is go out. My top 5 go-tos for my clients is like go out, sit in nature, whether that's I live close to the beach, so go sit at the beach, get connected to your body, and notice, do I feel pleasure in this moment? Where in my body am I feeling pleasure? Am I tingling? Am I warm? Am I really notice the sensations? Try going shopping and feeling different textures, whether it's furniture shopping or shoe shopping, whatever. But go to a place and like touch different textures, touch silk, cotton, denim. You know, you've got like pearl, like see like what textures actually, you can even say like what textures turn me on. You know, where do I feel it? What makes me excited about it? Am I getting like a bit of a charge? Again, it doesn't have to be a sexy charge, more just, does it make me feel alive? Music. Oh my God, music's a great one for this, right?
Dancing.
Dance different, move your body. God. What body movement? So I'm a ballet dancer, so for me, you know, like the sexy belt, like that, oh my God, immediately I feel sexy and I gotta keep going. And I feel very sensual. For other people, want to do that? But for other people, it might be swing dancing, it might be Zen, like you have to find your top 5 go-tos to connect to your body, to tune into your sensuality.
And this is so inspiring, and I mean, we haven't even gotten into other deeper issues. So I say we schedule another sensual talk.
Sure. Are we already done?
Oh my goodness,
let's just go for hours.
Out of time. Well, let me tell you something. We definitely have 2 people in this room who are not just a pretty face.
That's right.
Because listen to this, we got like education in neuroscience, we got education in
the political body positive movement.
This is amazing. Sophia, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. This really is a very important discussion. So if you want any more information, please follow Coach Sophia on Instagram, connect with her.
Yes.
I think that she can help not only a woman who is maybe self-conscious with her body, but who simply wants to rediscover her pleasure, her connection to her body, to herself. And I think that you're certainly an expert when it comes to that.
Thank you.
Sophia, thank you so much.
And thank you for doing this work, because it is so important to talk about sensuality and bring a light to something that so many people feel really shy or even shame around. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I want to thank you all for joining this evening's Sensual Talk. Of course, next week we have another episode coming your way. And I want to thank Dronish Media for sponsoring another presentation. And for more sensual recipes, sensual living ideas, please go to dailysensuality.com. I'm Emanuela Fernandes. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Princess Sophia.
Thank you, honey.
Are you going to a royal wedding, by the way?
Oh, on Saturday, perhaps. Perhaps I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and watch it.
That's as close as I'll get to the
wedding. Oh, yeah. I'm thinking like I'm going to YouTube it later.
Everybody needs their sleep.